Hey Libra, how are you guys doing today? Well, here's your reading for May 2017. I already pre-shuffled the cards, so it's going to get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede into this reading to provide Libra with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay the messages as they are meant to be. My Spirit, please release Libra's first base card for May. Okay. Yeah. The Chariot card in reverse. Sorry, I had to kind of fill that one out, see how it was for me. Hey Spirit, please release Libra's second card. Oh, caught that in my hand. Or my arm, I should say. The Ten of Swords. Spirit, please release two cards. Two cards clarifying why the Chariot. Okay. The Ten of Wands. And the Universe in reverse. Libra, what's going on? What are you guys up to? Okay, Spirit, please release two cards clarifying why the Ten of Swords is here. Why is the Ten of Swords here for Libra? Spirit, why is Ten of Swords here for Libra for May of 2017? Please clarify the Ten of Swords here for Libra. Spirit, please clarify why the Ten of Swords is here for Libra. One more card, clarifying the Ten of Swords, please. Okay, I'm gonna go with it. I'm not sure why they wanted an extra card there, but we'll take it. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands, the Son of Wands, and the Four of Cups. Okay, Spirit, please release up to 3 cards for what's crowning Libra. Oh, wow, okay. I'm going to take these two right here. And I'm going to take this one too. All of a sudden, just sending me messages. Okay. So here we have the Sun, the Three of Wands, and the Magician in reverse, Spirit, please release up to 3 cards for what's for advice for Libra from May of 2017 and for the situations at hand. Spirit, please release up to 3 cards, please. Okay, I'm going to take those. So for your first card here, the Fool. Then we have the 7 of Stones. Then we have the 6 of Cups. Okay. Actually, sorry guys, I'm like not with it today. Seven of Stones was in reverse, guys. I'm not sure if I mentioned that when I displayed the card. Okay, Libra, so here is the advice cards, and then here's what's crowning you, what's in your mind, or in your thoughts, I should say. Okay. So we're coming into the reading with the Daughter of Cups, upright. So Libra, you're coming into the reading today with a calm, radiant, peaceful, and a strength of character type of vibe, given that that's what the Daughter of Cups represents. Let's see here. Libra, I'm kind of picking up on a sense of depression sort of going on, or a sense of, yeah, I think depression is kind of what I'm going on. I mean, not literally like clinically, but, you know, that's the overall feel I'm getting from this spread. But the only thing is, I'm not sure why you're coming into the reading sort of, initially, I'm not sure, kind of calm and peaceful with the strength of character, but why is it that you feel somewhat depressed? But in your mind, I mean, your vitality seems to be up. And, I mean, given by the 3 of Wands right here too, harmony, purpose, and good fortune. But you're not really feeling like, here with the Magician in reverse, you're not really feeling like you're kind of manifesting those things that you want to manifest. Okay, Libra, I'm not sure why, but I'm kind of coming up, or I'm getting this feeling, Libra, that given that the Magician's in reverse here, are you talking about some of the things that you plan to do, Libra, and maybe they're not really working out? Not that they're not working out because you're talking of them. Maybe just they're not working out for other reasons. But maybe then people are kind of like waiting on you, like, hey, where's this? Or what's going on here? What are you doing here? What's going on? And then it kind of makes you look, I don't want to call you a liar, but it kind of makes you somewhat look like you're not a person of your word. Because the universe is in reverse right here. And when the universe is in reverse like that, usually it kind of entails that this card specifically, also I think in general as well, is ruled by Saturn. So Saturn's all about lessons, and it's ruled by Capricorn, and but not the devil card. It's just that's astrology in itself. Libra, it also represents Saturn, represents hard lessons. It's kind of a double-edged sword when it comes, to Saturn because it knocks you on your butt, but you end up coming back a stronger and wiser, or more wise person. So it is good in a sense. It's just one of those intermittent. Saturn's usually it comes intermittently and it comes for a specific reason. And then you learn at the end what the reason is. But I'm not sure why, but I'm getting this feeling, Libra, that you're talking about certain things or maybe certain people that you're not really supposed to be talking about. And since the Chariot is in reverse here, as well as with the universe, I'm kind of getting the feeling that the universe is trying to tell you to zip it, kid, because you shouldn't be saying or talking about the things that you are. Whether they're plans that you have that you would like to implement, but let's not talk about things too soon, because this is the reason as to why we shouldn't talk about things too soon, and why the magician is known for being someone who works behind the scenes, because he doesn't really explain a lot, he just does. He expects the result, but you can't really expect the result if you're running around wasting time talking about how you're going to do it or what you're going to do. Let me see, move this so it focuses in better, guys. So that's one of the things that you really may not want to do, and I feel like it's causing oppression or depression because the Ten of Wands upright also means cruelty to liberation. Libra, I want to say I got this maybe last month as well. I don't know why I remember something like that, or one of my videos had that. But Libra, I kind of feel like you're having a self-fulfilling prophecy going on. What's going on is I believe that in terms of the spread is that you're speaking about things prematurely. And what ends up happening is maybe sometimes they don't work out the way that they're supposed to, or there's other reasons as to why. And that's what's causing people to react to you maybe negatively, or they may be kind of judging you or looking at you a certain way, like kind of like, oh, you can kind of talk the talk, but you can't walk the walk type of thing. But when we do that to ourselves, Libra, because ultimately that's what we do to ourselves, we cause some of those things to happen, is because we don't really need to necessarily talk about the plans that we have going for ourselves until maybe they get started. And also, as well as when you speak of things prematurely, Libra, what ends up happening is people then know exactly what's going on. And if they have plans to sabotage you, you just gave them the ammunition to do that. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be honest or that not speaking about the things initially or at its premature stages means that you are not honest. No, it just means that you want to see how things work out before they work out or before they start to roll. And Libra, you're one of the air signs that do speak a lot. You guys talk to a lot of people. I want to say a little bit more than Gemini sometimes too. Even though Gemini is known for, it's a communicative sign. They're known for speaking about just talking and rambling a little bit. But I feel like Libras as well, or maybe kind of in general, just a little bit. I'm a Libra ascendant, so this is a little bit for me as well. Gemini tends to talk about a lot of different things, but I feel like sometimes Libras, you guys talk about or maybe perpetuate rumors a little bit, or like, hey, I heard this, or hey, I heard that, which we all do that. But I feel like sometimes, Libra, you choose the wrong times to do so sometimes. Now, remember, this is a general reading, so it's not going to be for everyone, the things that I'm saying. It's only for the few that it's meant for this month. And Libra, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't perpetuate rumors, because if it possibly is a rumor, it shouldn't be said, which also kind of goes back to speaking of things prematurely, because if you heard something or you've seen something, who knows how it's going to turn out? And then the fact that maybe you said something and then you put your own judgment or discernment upon it, which is what we all usually do, is that then another topic of conversation comes from that. It's predicated off of speaking of things prematurely, because then they say, hey, you want to know what Libra said? Oh, well, why is she assuming things like that? Or he's assuming things like that. You shouldn't be doing that. And then it just snowballs up until there. And then, Libra, you involved yourself in something that had nothing really to do with you. This is the thing that tends to happen when people speak of things prematurely. And I'm kind of feeling like this is what it's about in a sense, or what I'm picking up from this specific little tri-spread here, is that that's what's going on. But the advice section is telling you to take a leap of faith, because you're coming out of a period of failure, or you're coming out of a period of discord, and it's time to have a fresh start and for recovery for the Seven of Stones here in reverse. But also happiness is there as well. So, okay. It seems like it's telling you to not do these things, given that the universe is in reverse, because that's ultimately who controls really pretty much everything. We have no control over the universe and what it chooses to do. But what we can do is we can adjust to it and adapt to it and hear those little messages that they're giving us and that we should be perceiving. And given that, we're going to have this full moon in this full moon in Scorpio, your neighboring sign, it's a release, and it's also a liberation from the things that maybe hold you back, or from the restrictions of life. And it's funny that I say liberation, because the Ten of Wands here in this specific deck speaks of cruelty to liberation. And I feel like, Libra, when you talk about things prematurely and things that necessarily may not have anything to really do with you, it's more of just kind of gossip, you tend to prevent liberation for yourself and for other people as well, because then you get involved, and then we kind of come back to that same topic I spoke about last month about the cops and robbers concept, that the quietest revolution, Amber, she has her own channel, I linked it last month, that she spoke of that, which I have been thinking about for a very long time, prior to her giving it the prime example, or giving it the personification in terms of the cops and robbers, which is wonderful. I just couldn't really intellectualize it or maybe communicate it properly, but that's kind of what's the main general idea of what I had is Libra tends to play the victim sometimes, and we can't do that anymore. It's no longer going to serve us, and people are now going to start to catch on to it. We can't do that, Libra. We cannot play the victim, and we cannot, be upset when we touch the stove because we got burned. This is what happens. And I feel I'm also picking up, Libra, that maybe the sun is in your thoughts because you maybe think that it may get you ahead, or that it may kind of transpire a certain way. But with the Magician here in reverse, it proves that it's not. That's not really what's going to happen from it. It's just going to further prevent liberation for you, given that you involve yourself in certain things. And that's even the thing that makes it maybe that much more detrimental, is that it's something that you caused. It's something that you did to yourself. Now, why are you going to choose to do that to yourself? Do you feel like you can't be free because the cruelty to liberation concept gets brought up somewhat again here? And I feel like with this Seven of Stones in reverse right here, it's the universe trying to tell you, if you take that leap of faith and you make a change as to how you're delegating this, you maybe then can go into a period of having recovery and a fresh start, which will then lead to happiness, which the Six of Cups represents. I'll just give that some food for thought. I just picked that up from this little reading right here, or this tri-spread. It's starting this little quad spread here. Okay, Libra, give me a second. Let me go ahead and see what I'm getting from this here. So you're having some pain, confusion, personal difficulties, maybe some problems from the Ten of Swords up here at the top, which is also clarified by the Eight of Wands, which is definite movement, progress, and worthy goals, possibly maybe a new love affair. And Sun, yeah, the Son of Wands represents, you know, loving life and being a trickster and in a good way, and being attractive. But why at the bottom, Libra, do we have mixed happiness for the Four of Cups? Are you loving life, but which is a great thing, but at the same time, why do we have the Ten of Swords here? The Ten of Swords represents basically like rock bottom in a sense. It represents being in that period of just having to remove all of those swords that were stabbed into you. And then you're going to need recovery and recuperation, you know, from having to take all those swords out. Maybe recovery and recuperation, like in your advice section here. Is the universe trying to tell you something, that this is not really the way to go about things? Are you having proper and definite, not proper, but let me rescind that. Are you having definite movement in maybe progressing this self-mutilation a little bit? I want to say one of your other videos was, I think it was April. Was that as well? I want to say I named it Self-Mutilation Leads to Unbalanced Measures. I think that's what it was, if I'm not mistaken. Because the Son of Wands represents someone who does love life, but they're also a very young spirit. And they tend to bring messages as well. Maybe messages of maybe some rumors that are kind of going on. Maybe. Because I feel like you're going back and forth with yourself, Libra. And what you're doing is there's some self-fulfilling prophecies that are going on. But since it's the Ten of Swords here at the top, you can't really be mad at that. And the Four of Cups is finding movement, or finding a moment for peace and joy. And action is only possible because it leads to growth. Why do you have to find the moment of peace and joy, though, Libra? You shouldn't have to find the moment of peace and joy. Things should, yeah, we maybe need to every now and then, but we should have somewhat of peace and joy because we're good people and we shouldn't have to find it. It should just come from the good choices that we make in our lives. Is that why you're having the mixed feelings, Libra? Is that why in your mind you want the good fortune and you want the harmony, like the Three of Wands here? But yet things aren't really working out the way that you want them to, Libra, right here by the Magician in reverse. It's not really happening for you. Because it doesn't make any sense why you would have the Sun here, which is great. Good vitality, having that energy for that movement, right? But then having that Three of Wands right here, the harmony and the purpose and the good fortune, it all sounds great, and it is. But these two cards are wonderful cards in this deck. They're great. I'm not going to argue about that. Well, why do you have the Magician in reverse, though? Because what you're basically doing is here, yeah, you're manifesting these wonderful, great things, of course. And good should come of it, right? Why not? And this is in your memories, in your thoughts. And what's crowning you. And what I also find interesting is, yeah, what I also find interesting, what I also find interesting is the Three of Wands is right here, harmony, purpose, and good fortune, and doing all of that, and having the sun here, and this wand energy, right? Is it possibly coming from the Son of Wands here? In the way that you're perpetuating some type of ruin to yourself or to whatever's going on? Because it could be ruin to you and it could be maybe ruin to other people if maybe you're speaking of things that you're not supposed to be speaking of. Because then that other person ends up getting kind of hurt, right? Because finding that definite movement, progressing, goal worthy, possibly a new love affair, this card also represents. But you do that to other people is when you make them or put them in that period of ruin, and you put them in that period of having to pull all of those swords out, and then they come back at you and they hear what's going on, right? And then you end up going, oh my God, what? I didn't say that. And then we start with the, playing the victim with the cops and robbers, and then when things don't work out and you have some depression, why are you mad? Because you speaking of other things involves yourself, not just that, but it also involves other people, and it makes other people have to work that much harder just to get that off of their back, whether they deserved it or not, but that's none of your business. I hate to say this, Libra, I hate to beat you up like this, but I'm not really going to, I don't like to. A lot of, the people that comment, do you like Libras? You don't like air signs? That's not what it is. I'm an air sign myself. But I don't go around doing this because I know what transpires from it and what it manifests. And I'm not, I'm not trying to be the one to have to take all those swords out of my back. I don't want to do that. I'm too old for that. Now, I'm not saying that you guys are all young and, all that. But, sometimes there comes a point, Libra, when you have to realize that this is not working. You have to have those worthy goals, of course. In this deck, this is pretty much a good card as well, too. But you can also use this energy, this fire movement, and this energy that it is for progress and having a worthy goal and definite movement, but in a detrimental way, because that's not good. I don't know, hi Libra, if any of you know this song, but there's this song by, oh God, what's his name? Oh my God, it just lost me right now. It's an oldie, and it's a song. Let's see if I can look it up really quick for you guys. It's called Nothing Leaves Nothing. And yeah, it's an oldie. It's called Nothing from Nothing or something to that effect. And the song goes, nothing from nothing leaves nothing, but you gotta have something if you want to be with me. I should check it out. It's pretty good. Well, anyway, back to the reading. But it just reminded me of that right now. Because what's going on, Libra, is you're going to manifest things that lead to nothing sometimes. And you're going to be pulling these swords out of your back by yourself. And maybe some may be too low or too high for you to reach. And that's when you're going to need someone there. It's going to help you out, help you at least pull them out. But if we're speaking of things that are not necessarily our business or too prematurely, is anyone going to be there to help you pull them out? Because then, once you do pull them out, yeah, you're going to need that moment of recuperation, that moment of rest, because this also means the same thing when it's in reverse. But when it's in reverse, it's a good thing when the Ten of Swords is in reverse, but what came before that change? Why do you need to rest and recoup? But I can see it, Libra. It's not, it's not a coincidence that this right here stands for mixed happiness. And they gave you the Six of Cups here in your advice section for actual happiness. No? Six of Cups is happiness and love and being loved. And the Six of Cups also represents balance, Libra. And what are you all about? What are we, I can say, all about? Now, Libra, does the self-mutilation lead to unbalanced measures? I think they do. You know? Because, Libra, I think that's why you came into the reading with the Mother of Cups. Cup energy is emotional. They run off of their emotions, which isn't a bad thing. That's who they are. It's one of their traits. And an air sign is not maybe per se someone who is very emotional, or Libras tend to be a little bit more emotional than all the other air signs. But air is not really known to being that emotional. They're known to cut a little bit more. And what's going on, Libra? Are you emotional because maybe you're throwing your sword around a little bit too much? Or you're holding something in? Or you're not getting over something that has happened? And you're perpetuating this self-mutilation. And you need to come to that point, Libra, where you need to say, I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. And a lot of Libras are probably going to be like, what? No, not me. And then when you repress that shadow side to you and you don't allow it to come out, given that it's in a healthy manner, you are left there like, oh, no, not at all. Because you don't like to show that side of you, Libra, and I understand, because I'm the same way with my Libra ascendant. I don't like to show that other side of me because it's not proper. It's there's enough people out there who actually don't have any shame in showing it. But when you start acting like a fire sign and you start doing those actions or running off of those actions that are just not hasteful, or I'm sorry, that are hasteful, this is what happens. It catches up to you. But do you want to be alone? Taking all those swords out of your back. It's not a good thing, Libra. And I believe that the universe here is telling you to take that leap of faith in changing the way that you do things, so you can then take those swords out, so then you can then have the recuperation. And what ends up transpiring from this is that then you end up having that happiness. Because this is no movement. This is stagnation. And why is it stagnation? It's stagnation and stagnant because the universe is telling you, simmer down, hot sauce. I believe that's what's kind of it's doing, because they're also telling you, look what it's doing. It's bringing you nothing but depression and oppression. But you can't be mad because, you do it to yourself. I always say, you can't be more upset than the victim, but if you make yourself the victim, you're the only one that can really be upset at it. Okay, Libra? Let's see here. Okay, Libra, you can't be upset at those things that happen because you egg them on. Well, always have to remember that's why you don't do that. You should, I don't want to say you guys don't think, but it's just you have to take a second and be like, you know what, I'm not going to do that because I know that my plans are not going to work out and I'm not going to be able to have that proper direction as to how to move forward, or I'm going to have that hindrance, that causes things of that nature, as causes the stagnation, and it causes all of that. And also putting yourself in positions where you can't move forward. That's why you came into the reading with the Mother of Cups, Yeah. Because you have to stop being cruel, Libra. You have to relieve yourself of cruelness and confusion and manipulation from certain things, It's telling you to use your intuition and to know Remember what I always say in my spreads? This is the you know what the heck to do card. Stop playing. You have that ball there. It's in your court all the time, but you just choose to not listen to your intuition and to do those things. Which, speaking of the fire energy, there's the Ace of Wands here. This is energy and optimism and confidence. This is a good card, but not when you use it for detrimental or for nefarious means. And being injurious and doing those things that lead to that self-mutilation and bringing other people down along with you while you do those things, because that's even 10 times worse. And Libra, we're supposed to be all about the balance in the relationship and our 7th house stuff. No? I'm going to leave these cards right here since I went through them. So here are the cards from the bottom of the deck that I pulled out for you. And I'm going to have, I'm going to do 4 cards for advice on how to move forward from this situation, per usual. How I do my spreads. Okay, Spirit, please release up to 4 cards for Libra upon how to move forward from the situations at hand for May of 2017. I'm gonna take those 3, and I'm just gonna, I'm just like doing this. I haven't even looked at the bottom of the deck, but I'm gonna take that card, and I haven't even looked at it. So since I'm doing this spread now, guys, so you guys can see it in your perspective, I have to like remember to like flip properly and stuff. Let's see. So here's your first one. The 10 of Stones. That's a good card, Libra. No, it's really good. It's good life and health and sense of solid reality. Okay? Because that's how things should be for you, Libra. But why is the Son of Stones in reverse here? No. Son of Stones, when he's in reverse, he's in despair. And selfish, or being selfish in those ways, lead to feeling lost. Because if you do have all the richness, Libra, and let's say that you're not doing the things that this spread is entailing or revealing to us. If you have the richness, Libra, or the whatever rich may be, or whatever wealth that it may be of different measures, why are you not sharing it? Is it causing maybe some conflict, Libra? Because the selfishness maybe is going on? Remember, guys, it's general, so I'm trying to hop all around and see what's going on and come up with the most viable different sources in terms of how the reading is going out. But some of the conflict that's going on, because the 5 of Wands has to do with strife and battle. The 5 of Wands also represents having that battle, but for what? When everyone just kind of walks away and they're like, oh, okay. So is it a self-battle? Because no one else sees it as a battle. Like, what's the point of it in a sense? Because you have the Daughter of Swords here. Daughter of Swords, when she's upright like this, you know, she's someone who's calm and radiant and peaceful and has that, I'm sorry, I do apologize. It's fine. It's the Daughter of Cups there. The Daughter of Swords is someone when she's upright is, powerful and confident and dynamic. Dynamic and powerful and confident. And it's a sword, which is like you, Libra. You're an air sign. Swords are air. Which you are, Libra. You are powerful and you are confident and you are dynamic. You exude Venus, which is the power, the planet of love and the planet of aesthetic beauty. You are beauty. The Libra ascendants as well. We are beauty. We make grabbing a cup off of the table look graceful. But Libra, but you don't look so great and so graceful and so cute when you're doing those things that prevent you from looking as so. Because how are you carrying yourself? And most importantly, how the other people view you? It's important, Libra, we're going to have to change this about ourselves. It's not a good look, Okay, Libra. I hate to have to give you that, but let's just work on it, okay? Let's make sure that, things work out. Bottom of the deck here. The Two of Swords coming out of that period, right? It's pretty good. Even though it says peace there, but Two of Swords, represents impasses. We're coming out of that impasse, but in this specific deck right here, it does have to do with quarrels and kind of disruption a little bit, and also seeking tranquility within yourself. Within yourself, seeking that tranquility and that peace. Because following that is Eon right here. Which is when you come out of that period of things being out of control, a rebirth, and also maybe a little bit of resisting change. But this is also a new life that's not acknowledged, because maybe that new life, comes with the Two of Cups here. Maybe with yourself or with other people. It's a relationship and a commitment, because then it brings nothing but harmony to your life, Libra. Two of Swords, and just like the Daughter of Swords here. Because you are about harmony, Libra. Harmony. Let's see if I can get it for you guys so you can see it. This dang camera. Sorry about that, guys. But just say harmony at the bottom right there. Oh, there we go. See? Harmony. You guys are about the harmony. So let's try and find it again, Libra, okay? All right. Hope you enjoyed your reading for May 2017.